Welcome to the Bonito Guitar channel. We're here with Taylor from Music is Win. Be sure to subscribe to his channel. And we're going to discuss some topics about YouTube, the internet, and learning guitar in general. What are your thoughts about did the internet and the way that you have access to all the information change or improve the way people can learn the instrument, or did it make it worse?
I would definitely say it's changed it. In my opinion, it's made it better. Maybe others would disagree, but one of my guitar teachers from when I was in school told me something that I've sort of lived by, which is you're never smarter for not knowing something. So I think the internet allows for a wealth of information that we have access to. So more is more, as Yngwie Malmsteen says.
Yeah, wise words.
But with that said, you know, there can be inaccurate information, so that's the only downfall that perhaps you could argue. But, you know, people, when the internet didn't exist, people could still give misinformation. So I just think maybe there's more to kind of sift through, but overall I think it's very positive.
But what do you think about, let's say, you don't have to do any transcriptions anymore. You don't have to do anything where you learn to improve your ears, because everything is in tabs. You have all these websites, starting from Ultimate Guitar to you have everything. You don't have to. Because my teacher really said the same to me, but he also said there are no shortcuts.
Oh yes.
There are certain things that you have to do and you have to go through, no matter if it's easy or not. But you can learn certain things just by not making it too comfortable for yourself. What do you think about transcriptions or tabs?
Well, I am a proponent for any sort of ear training and transcription. I never put tab in my YouTube videos. For example, I actually have a video called "Why You Don't Need Guitar Tabs." Yeah. And I'm lighting a Metallica Enter Sandman piece of paper on fire in the thumbnail. Okay. So my argument is that you should always learn by ear. I actually don't encourage people to learn entire songs necessarily. I think you should just learn your favorite parts and your favorite licks and develop your own voice. Yeah. But you should do that by ear, because it's going to take longer, hence the no shortcuts thing, but it makes you such a better musician and prepares you for more musical situations that you may find yourself in. Yeah, sure. So you really would recommend that people do more transcription, and even if there's a tab, probably just try to figure it out by ears, and maybe if you have some problems, you can second check with the tabs. The only time I've ever looked at any sort of aid is when it's the way an artist performs something. Like it's sort of like eye training. What would you call it? So you watch somebody's technique. Yeah, you watch their technique and you pick up that technique. That's valuable, where YouTube is valuable. You watch one of your favorite musicians doing something and you break that down. That's just like ear training. Yeah. But as far as the notes go, I mean, if you run into some trouble and you're not like a crazy session musician who's like, I must learn this by ear, then sure. But overall, I think it's a healthy mindset to avoid tabs if you can.
Do you have the feeling that when you see guitar players or guitar playing on YouTube, that the whole aspect of musicianship and guitar playing gets a little bit reduced to playing solo and to playing solo fast, and they blend out all the other aspects that you need to be a musician, a good musician?
Yeah, well, I guess there probably are elements of that, and Jen from Evanescence is here, and I got to speak with her, and she said she was talking to Guthrie Govan, who can play pretty fast. I don't know if you know this, but he's also very melodic and soulful, and he equated it to the fact that in humanity there's a race, okay? So there's a car race, a NASCAR race. First place, there's only one first place. Whoever's the fastest wins. And in a football match, the person with more goals wins. The faster. There's always got to be a top dog. and it seems to have translated a little bit to guitar playing. Whoever can play really fast and really well, that is a bar that has been set, which that's all well and good. I love fast guitar playing. I can play a couple of things fast, but I think what's more important is being able to play in time.
Yeah,
and you know, you can play 100 things fast, but then when your solo's over and you have to go into keeping time for somebody and you can't do it,
many people suck. Yeah,
yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
That's not going to be a good jam. So,
I think the speed thing becomes that prominent because it's something that it's actually measurable. You cannot measure how soulful somebody is, how musical, how good the melodies are. Is not something you can pinpoint to a value.
Sure.
But tempo is very obvious. If you have the metronome, it's 180 beats per minute versus 160 beats per minute.
Yeah.
So 180 wins. So, what recently in social medias you always heard saw articles about the guitar is dead. What do you think about that?
I don't like it. I created a response video to that, and basically the argument that spawned that whole way of thinking was the financial decline of some guitar companies in the industry, but it was written by somebody who doesn't necessarily understand the industry. It was more of a pen and paper approach as opposed to being part of the, you know, the community. So it didn't take into account secondhand sales. It didn't take into account all the new guitar builders and just the way things work. Finance does not equal love as far as the guitar is concerned. I think there's more love for the guitar than ever. So if guitar is dead, then, I mean, what are we doing here? Why is this event happening? It's the first of its kind. I thought if guitar is dead, then I'm a little suspicious of that.
Okay, Taylor. Thanks a lot for joining us and for being here.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Be sure to subscribe to his channel and see you soon. Bye. With the tabs.
The only time I've ever looked at any sort of aid is when it's the way an artist performs something. Like, it's sort of like eye training. What would you call it? So you watch somebody's technique. Yeah, you watch their technique and you pick up that technique. That's valuable, where YouTube is valuable.